Could what happened in 1942 happen again? Internment of American citizens on this soil in this day and age.
You know, you study these awful episodes in history and you think we've learned a lesson. And I believe we have. Could you say never, ever? Not unless, no, we've got to be vigilant. I mean, you've simply got to be vigilant. You've got to teach this in the schools. You've got to recognize the fact that this was a terrible thing that was done, I say, by good people, by people we now cherish. And yet they could do it. And people in the country didn't object. And so I think education's our best weapon. I think you teach episodes like this, show how awful it was, show how ashamed we are of it, talk about the redress. And I think if we continue to do that, if it continues to be a lesson in our classrooms, then no, I don't think it ever will happen again.
Always the teacher. Grant?
Well, I think Tom's right. You never know. I think one thing that might serve as an indicator is this. There was enormous outcry to do something about this Japanese problem that we had. And the idea of moving them away from the West Coast was supported by the Hearst Press and the Hearst tabloids and by Walter Winchell. This was, you might say, these were the leaders of mass opinion. But it was also supported by Walter Lippmann of the New York Herald Tribune and by Edward R. Murrow. And so what you saw, I think, at least in the media at that time, was a confluence of elite and mass media to do something not very good. So when you see perhaps that same confluence down the road, watch out. After 9/11 and the Boston Marathon bombing, there were some calls out in the countryside to do something about our Muslim problem. But I think you saw in what we might call the elite media, and that was a good sign.